I think if I recall correctly, we originally had we were about 15th or 16th on Google when we tried to find our
Right.
place locally, just doing various searches like gym near me and stuff like that. When we checked last week, I think we were actually in the first place, or first to second place.
So tell us a little bit about Fifth Element Wellness. How long have you been going for, and what were you looking for when you looked at implementing the local search program?
Sure. So we've been around as a business now since 2013, so about 8 years now. And basically, for us, lockdown was pretty rough, as it was for most of the industry. We came out of lockdown, really noticed that we needed to pick up our game, had to rebuild our business, and leads were not coming through as quickly as we would have liked. And we quickly identified that that was largely due to not having much presence on Google anymore for whatever reason that was. Couldn't quite put our finger on it. So we reached out to NPE to basically understand your services around helping with being able to grow our being found locally largely through Google.
Yeah. Well, I know when we originally, I mean, look, obviously you're a well-established business. You're very good at what you do. You've got a great client base. COVID was brutal for everyone, but especially for those of you in Victoria, and you're able to come through that and survive, and then wanting to sort of reopen again, if you like, come out of lockdown with a bit of a bang. You talked about your online media presence or online presence in general wasn't where you wanted it to be. We talked at the start about paid ads and SEO and those sorts of things. And one of the frustrations that you had was they were throwing numbers at you, but you couldn't really see what that return on investment was giving you. Is that right?
Yeah. To be fair, we found ourselves in such a difficult or dire situation that I ended up employing multiple agencies all at the same time. NPA being one of them, and then I also got a Google Ads company and I got a Facebook Ads company. So those two superseded your NPA by maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But we were in a situation where I wanted to throw the kitchen sink at it. I didn't really want to wait, and just kind of saw what would happen. And so far, having a three-pronged approach has definitely bared fruit, and certainly we've seen real significant growth in just being able to find ourselves on Google now. So, which we've noticed has definitely produced better quality, well, more leads and better quality leads than I believe we're getting through the other channels. I think if I recall correctly, we originally had we were about 15th or 16th on Google when we tried to find our place locally, just doing various searches like gym near me and stuff like that. When we checked last week, I think we were actually in the first place, or first to second place. So yeah, quite a quick climb in the 5.5, 6 weeks we've been working with NPE. And I definitely would attribute that growth down to the work that we've been doing through you guys.
Well, it's really exciting, isn't it? Because getting into that Google 3-pack that I know you're familiar with, but some listening to this may not be completely aware. But basically, if I put in a search saying best personal trainer near me, or best personal trainer in your case, Fitzroy or North Fitzroy, or Fitzroy North, I should say, then we really need to pop up in that top 3-pack, because very few people click on more businesses. And clearly you're aware of that. What was interesting to me from our conversation last week was that you were now in the top 3 in multiple searches as well. It wasn't just one keyword that you're in the top 3 of, and which is really exciting, knowing that you've now got that online positioning. So even if I refer someone and they go online for a quick look just to check it beforehand, they're going to see that you're commanding that position.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the things we did talk about again last week, using the system, now we can see there's certain keywords you're performing really well in, and you're in that Google 3-pack, and there's others which we still have room for improvement, and we made some tweaks and adjustments around that. Tell us a little bit about that insight and what that's helped you and the team to be able to do.
We've really gathered a strong insight around who our real competitors are online, in terms of who may be also being found in similar sort of vein as to what we do. And that's been quite insightful to even just go and do some competitor analysis on their end, see what their website looks like, what their social looks like, what offers they have, but also being able to get really granular on what our keywords are and what we want to be found for, and then be able to actually track the specifics around how those keywords are comparing to our main competitors. And in a couple of cases, we actually found that two people in businesses in particular that I thought were competitors, actually, when we actually stack them up against the report that we can see through the dashboard, through the NPE sort of dashboard there, we can see that actually they weren't competing for us at all, or against us at all. And so, then we could shift and look for other competitors, and just kind of like dials us into what the actual lay of the land is. And then taking those keywords and then being really effective at dropping those into things like our Google reviews and the replies to our reviews, and obviously throughout our website and our social media posts. And they're obviously some of the key actions that have helped us drive up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love it. And you guys have taken amazing action. As I mentioned to you a couple of weeks back, the team and you have really applied the tool to the best of its ability, and hence why you're getting such great results from such an early real benchmark, if you like, in terms of time frame. It's going to be interesting to see, isn't it? Now that you're getting that awareness around who the true competitors are, and some of it's bigger fish who have got much more traction, I guess, in the marketplace. But having those goals and that awareness is going to be exciting to see what will happen as you guys continue to implement that and get even more refined, as you said, in terms of what your messaging is and what you're putting out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm also finding that the quality of the leads are better as well. Yeah. So, it's the right people, the sorts of people that we want to be finding us, rather than somebody coming on board and I'm sitting down consulting with them, or one of my coaches is, and it's just like, this is not the right match for each other. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, that's very, very, very rarely happening. So, that obviously boosts morale and makes life a lot easier when we're spending time consulting with somebody. Like, yes, there's always close ratios and sales skills and all that sort of stuff, but there's also just getting the right aligned person to who your business philosophy is, which is what we're seeing coming through so far.
Wow, that's fantastic, because that's great for team morale as well, isn't it? And their own confidence. Definitely. In terms of their role, but just what you are doing as an organization, which is great. And I know your retention's phenomenal, so no doubt they'll be staying for years as well, which is awesome. I know when we spoke originally, when you were, testing the waters and just sort of seeing what we could offer, for you, it really was specific to the lead generation. You've got, because of your years of experience in the industry and being a leader yourself, then you've got good systems in other areas that are working well. It was really just getting that positioning, getting those better quality and quantity of leads coming in the door that you were looking for, which is why you didn't get all of our coaching programs. You just wanted this one, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting. Look, I'm really looking forward to continuing to work with you, Matt. I know that we've only scratched the surface in terms of what we can do in getting you that online positioning in 5.5 weeks, and you're in that Google 3-pack in a number of those keyword searches. And I can't wait to keep working with that conversion tracking we talked about today as well, so we can really see just how much of that's turned into a dollar value. I think we had about 8 conversions at that stage, which will be really good to just look at. Well, exactly what does that mean in terms of bottom line and ROI, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, how I mentioned, I've taken a 3-pronged approach with having, multiple agencies through the kitchen sink at it. I've already identified there's probably one that I can move away from, having the placement that we've managed to achieve now on Google. So, that's a great cost saving as well to look forward to.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, look, I know there's a number of people who are in a similar position to you. They're established, they've got a good business model, but really it's just getting that quantity and quality of leads coming in the door, and they've tried, throwing money at various ad agencies and SEOs and those sorts of things. What would your advice be to them if they're looking for a better online positioning and to attract more of that great organic local traffic?
Yeah, I'd say that you could always, there's always all the marketing stories around Facebook ads and Instagram and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure there's some value in that space. I'm not saying there's none, but from my experience, when it doesn't compare to just organic placement in Google. And from my experience now working with a couple of agencies, especially like SEO agencies that really generally do kind of gravitate towards this sort of space. The traction that we've seen through NPE and working with Rick has been far surpasses anything I've experienced over the years. So definitely a fan, definitely on board. Would highly recommend other people give it a go. Yeah, that's probably about it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and really appreciate you sharing as well, because a lot of people they've gone through the roundabout, around the roundabout a few times, and they're not sure what to do next either. So I'm sure you're going to inspire a lot more people to get the right help as well. I'm certainly excited because I know working closely with you and the team, especially Vanessa, over the last few weeks has been awesome to see changes and updates, and just to see you really command that positioning, which has been brilliant. I can't wait to be in that 3-pack for all the keywords, and then we can keep converting and tweaking and adjusting so that we can get that global domination, or at least through all of Fitzroy and surrounding suburbs when it comes to Melbourne. So thanks so much for your time today, Matt. Really appreciate it, and we'll certainly speak to you again very soon.
No, you're welcome. Thanks, Rick.
All right, take care.
I think if I recall correctly, we originally had we were about 15th or 16th on Google when we tried to find our place locally, just doing various searches like gym near me and stuff like that. When we checked last week, I think we were actually in the first place, or first to second place.